Welcome to the Johnny Carson Show. Oh, that's wrong too.
Wrong place,
So,
wrong
sorry. Aging myself. But welcome to Unapologetically Significant. We're your hosts,
Shelly Marie.
and Ricardo Rich. Taco Tuesday.
Gotta love it. It's
Yeah.
literally one of my favorite days of the week.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we are back after the pudding episode.
What'd you guys think?
Yeah.
We had a lot of feedback.
Yes, we did. We know we tricked you on Instagram. Only went so far, but we actually didn't do that.
Yeah.
When we made the short, it just happened to stop short
Yeah.
of seeing the liquid pour out. But kudos to all of you that went
Yeah.
to the podcast and actually watched it and saw what happened. So that's hopefully you got a lot out of that. That's so critical to break your food down and be able to digest it.
hmm
So you see what happens. So
Yeah, and everybody needs a little extra. You know what I
yeah,
mean? A little pick me up, a little help processing all the stuff that we are doing. It's not only the food that we're eating; it's actually day-to-day life. It's our
mhm,
emotions. Everything has to be digested. So, taking the digestive meal and accelerating the process
mhm,
and optimizing what we are eating. It's just it doesn't get any better than that.
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. And there are times where we all may feel a little tired, just for whatever. We could be running around a lot, or we may not be running around a lot, but you just find yourself tired, more tired than usual.
a little sluggish.
Yeah, the
And the
thing.
seasons are changing too. So
Yep.
now, every quarter the seasons change, and that has obviously a role to play in some of that
Right.
sluggishness too.
Right. Right. But what I want you guys to think of when you're feeling a little sluggish, I want you to think about, what did I eat
hmm
within the past 24 hours? Because the thing you got to realize is that your body will use up to 70% of its energy to digest a meal.
That's a lot.
Now, that's a good meal.
Yeah. Good meaning healthy. Okay, not good like, oh, I went to Ruth Chris, I had this steak, okay, that's good too. But we're talking about good meaning and its relevancy to health.
Right, right. So you probably have heard the old saying, uh, is it starve a fever, feed a cold?
Yep.
So why do you starve a fever? Don't eat when you have a fever,
Yeah.
essentially. Well, if you have a fever, that means that your body is really in a battle,
Mhm.
more so than normal. There's an infection in there. There's something else going on where your immune system is like on high alert and fighting all these bad guys. Well, you don't be stuffing a meal down you, because if you're using 70% of your energy to digest the food, what energy is left to fight
The
whatever's
resistance,
going on?
yeah.
So
And
think
it's
about that.
yeah, that's that number is a big
Yeah,
difference.
yeah,
So
huge.
usually typically when you have a fever, you're not hungry
Yeah,
because your body turns off that
yeah,
mechanism.
yeah. So
To
don't override it.
Do not override and be like, I gotta eat. If I just eat something, no, your body knows what's best, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and if so, it's like, you know, chicken broth or soup or something like that can be digested pretty easy, but the body knows, and
yeah.
it doesn't want to spend any extra time breaking down food versus actually fighting and healing what's going on in your body.
Right, right. So just remember that
Yep.
something hits, when life hits, just remember that. What did I eat? Because it's not only just, feeling sluggish and whatnot. You can be off mentally, other things can be going on. And it's, a lot of times it can be the food, doesn't have to be the food.
Mhm.
For example, so last week, 2 weeks ago now, almost 2 weeks ago, I got notified my job was being eliminated.
Dun dun
Dun, dun, dun,
dun.
dun. So no job, no warning, no nothing. Just say attend this meeting. Boom, all y'all are gone. So naturally, that's a shock to the
Mhm.
system. You gotta process things like that,
Mhm.
these life events. You gotta process them. But you also need to be or have been informed of some things you can do to kinda counteract it. Yeah, when you lose a job or life events happens, a lot of times you gotta go through the grieving process.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's what I think people fail to realize. The
Yep.
6 stages of grief when it's loss of a job, I mean, divorce,
Yep.
kids, marriage,
That's it.
graduation, all those things play a role into it, but let's go
Yeah.
back to your part. I think that's just a big piece that people miss. They're like,
Yeah.
"I just feel weird. I
Mm,
feel,
mm,
emotional, and I feel like all these things." But that's part of the grieving process, and you
yeah.
have to go through all 6 stages. Not
Ye
necessarily take you a year to do it.
yeah.
Kind of fast, but you definitely need to give yourself some grace to go through
Yeah,
those
you have
stages.
to. You have to. You're gonna be mad. You're gonna be sad.
Mhm,
You're gonna go through all these different emotions, and then all of a sudden you're gonna feel good, but for about
mhm,
5 minutes, then you're back in the dumps. And why did they this and all the blame game and all that stuff? Well, that's normal.
mhm.
That's normal. You're a human being. You're gonna go through that, and allow yourself to go through it. But there are a couple things that can help. Ooh. One thing I did was I came home. Well, I was already home. They made us stay home that day. And later that day, I was like, okay, I'm feeling kind of weird here. And I'm still processing it. I go, okay, I need to take some vitamin C. Vitamin C, it's like the miracle vitamin, but everybody just thinks, well, C is good for you and, whatever. And, um,
What does C actually do? Can you break that down?
C is one of the most powerful antioxidants on the planet.
Okay.
Oh, when stress hits the body, you're going to produce free radicals. All these little bad guys that are floating around. And somebody needs to hook on to them and say, sit your ass down and stop bothering this person.
I love that description.
So you need those antioxidants in there. And again, vitamin C is one of the best at it, but you have to have the right vitamin C.
Mhm.
Do not, do not, do not go to the store and buy a bottle of vitamin C,
Gummies.
and you turn it around and it says ascorbic acid. That is not vitamin C.
Mhm.
Sorry to tell you that, but it's not. It's one component, but that one component it has is chemically made. So you take high fructose corn syrup, you mix it with hydrochloric acid, and you get ascorbic acid.
Mm.
Okay. As opposed to going to the fruits that have it and utilizing that
Or
ascorbic acid.
mhm.
So you're buying garbage. That's what you're
Yeah.
doing. Save your money.
Vanity metrics. You've purchased the vitamin C and you're taking it because you're taking vitamin C. Think about the source. This is where the rubber meets the road, okay? There are so many fruits and vegetables that are packed with vitamin C that you can just literally we live in the desert, so there's citrus trees growing down all up and down the freeways, the side of the road. Stop your car, grab some. Um, Ideally, you want to get it from fruits or vegetables.
Right.
Well, blueberries, strawberries, pretty much all the berries,
Cherries.
cherries, like you can grab that vitamin C and like the whole eating part of it and the energetics alone,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Yep. Yep.
But it's like an extra step, you have to do it.
Right. Right. So again,
The breakdown, sorry.
do not buy just ascorbic acid. Don't do that. What you need is a vitamin C that is made from whole foods
Mhm.
because it will have all four parts in there. I don't know if how many of you are familiar with hawthorn.
Mhm.
It's an herb that you can take. It's very good for blood pressure issues,
Mhm.
but it is only good if you get all four parts. So you got to get the root, you got to get the stem, you got to get the berry, and you got to get the flower.
Yeah.
If you don't have all four of those, And because a lot of them will just give you the stem. Well,
Mhm.
that's not doing anything.
Mhm.
Save your money. You need all four parts of it. Okay. Same way with vitamin C. You need all four parts. Okay. So you've got ascorbic acid, which is going to come from fruits and veggies, like we just said. There's going to be the JK factor in there. And what the hell is that? JK? you know, well, that is actually a signaling molecule that helps drive different types of activation. Because a lot of things need to happen when it gets in there. Got to activate this, activate that, get all this stuff going, have the right signal going. Well, that's what the JK factor does. Okay. There are bioflavonoids in there. And what the heck are they? Well, they're antioxidants derived from plants.
Yeah. So it's a little bit
Okay.
different.
Yep. Yep. And the fourth one is rutin. Rutin is a type of flavonoid that's a tremendous antioxidant. So you can see most of these are antioxidants, and you got the signaling part in there to tell it where to go and to essentially kind of activate everything so it works. So now that is a true vitamin C.
Mhm.
So when you turn the bottle around, you will see all these ingredients in there. If they're not in there, don't buy it
Yeah.
because you're just wasting your time.
Mhm.
So that, that's one thing that helps counteract life events, with my losing my job.
Mhm.
Also, what I did, I upped my vitamin D. So vitamin D, everybody thinks of bones, strong bones, and all that, healthy teeth, and all that.
Mhm. I also think sun.
Yeah.
Like, I just
Yep.
need to go sit outside, which
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll ask me to be out there several days, all day.
And laying on the earth while hugging a tree.
Because the skin is not that efficient in terms of converting the sunlight into vitamin E. It does it to a certain extent, but it's not the most efficient. So you need to be supplementing with vitamin D because, why vitamin D? Well, when you hit stressors in life, what's going to happen is your body utilizes a lot of resources to
Mhm.
cope with stress. Okay. And vitamin D is one of them. So if your level is here on vitamin D and a stressor hits you, it's going to start using up that vitamin D.
Mhm.
And that level is going to go down and down and down. And if you're not replenishing it or trying to get it higher so it can withstand these life events.
It's gonna be constantly moving in a deficit,
Yep.
the short story.
Yep. Yep.
But, like, with vitamin D, what's the range which is normal?
Okay. So,
I don't even know if they use that word normal on yeah, it's
yeah.
within normal range,
Yeah.
and then
The
they talk
normal
about
range. Yeah.
compromise and okay.
See, this is where, um, how should I put it? Half the story is told.
Mhm.
So the range of vitamin C is basically, I
D
believe,
or C?
a D. Vitamin D is from 30, I think it goes up to like 110. So it's a broad
Mhm.
range. So people will say, well, I looked at my blood work and it said normal. It said 32, so I'm in there. Okay, that's good. You're in that overall range.
Yeah, but
But what is the functional range where it really does what it's supposed to do? Well, that number is probably from, I want to say, in the 70s, 75, give you a little grace, 75 to probably 100. That's where you want to be. That's the functional range where you're really getting the most bang for it. And if you're down in the 30s, in the 40s, the 50s,
yeah, you wanna think of it
yeah,
as a, academic grade.
yeah.
You're failing, okay? Anything even 50%, that's an app dog. I hate to be the one to break it to you,
Yeah, yeah.
but, if you think about it, like, for me, I always have to, like, correlate it and put it on, like, really remedial terms. And so when I look at it as a number grade, like, okay, am I an A student, a B student? Like, where am
Mhm.
I at? That's 75% to the 100. That's going to give you that passing grade. That's where
Yep.
you're functioning and you're actually learning and the material or content. Anything after that, you're questionable. Your
Yep.
body's not processing it right, or it's not getting the efficient amount. So it's going to start to impact you. So when you're
Yep.
going through these life changes, situations, or situationships, that's gonna start teetering off, and that's when you start getting that deficit. So 30%,
Mm,
what are we
mm.
really working with?
And when you realize that clinical depression, there are many markers for clinical depression. One of them is vitamin D.
Mm,
If you're at 25, you have a reading of 25, that is considered clinical depression. So you just had a life event, and if you're already down low,
yeah.
you're going to get depressed, and you're going to stay in that funk longer than what you should or need to stay in it. So you need to be taking a good quality vitamin D. And I can't stress that enough because it has a lot to do with the heart. It
Yeah.
plays a part in the heart. And just kind of think of it as you got a bunch of targets. Okay. You say you got 12 targets. And if you were to hit every one of these targets, you win $1 million.
Mm, line it up.
And now you go in there, and the bullets are your vitamin D. If you go in there with 3 bullets, how the hell are
Yeah,
you gonna hit all these targets?
yeah.
You're not. You're just not. It's the same way in the body. Vitamin D has to be dispersed in order to do certain things in there, and there's a bunch of them. There's over 300 things it does. And if you're short, it's not gonna all get done.
Mm.
And the body's gotta compensate, it's gotta do this, gotta do that. It's gonna wear you out trying to do all these other things and compensate and different pathways and whatnot. And you just don't want to put that stress on your body. You already got stress. Something happened to you. So you got to keep those two things up.
So what type of D should we be taking?
You need to be taking again a whole food vitamin D, and it'll say so on the back. A friend of mine, I mentioned him many episodes ago.
I know he's mad at us because we called it out.
But this guy, wonderful guy, goes to a big box store and gets some vitamin D, and he brings it in. And he goes, "I want you to look at what I got." I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, "Oh, number one is made in China." Nothing against China.
Yeah.
China makes some good stuff,
Mhm.
but this is not one of them. So there was no Whole Foods, nothing in this thing. It is straight chemicals that they made in the lab somewhere. I go, "How much you pay for this?" Because it was a big ass bottle. There's like 60 things in there. And I'm like, "How much you pay?" He goes, $3.95. $3
Like
for all
you
these.
can't even get a gallon of gas for 3.99 anymore, y'all.
You should better all go buy some Tums.
Yeah.
You'd have got more of them for $3. But yeah, a lot of it comes down to being able to read those labels, which we talked about
Mhm.
before, and understand that when you see a bunch of chemical names that you can't even produce,
You don't want it.
you don't want it.
Mhm.
Now, when it has a bunch of fruits and vegetables and all that kind of stuff, that's what you want.
'Cause
That's
your
what.
body can break down natural products.
Yep.
It
Yep.
cannot break down chemicals.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, some of them they can,
But
but
it's working hard.
it's working so hard. It's like you've already, like, got rid of the whole point of taking it
Yep. Yep.
because your body is working overtime to process those things. So what it's gonna get it from it, it's already burned that trying to process it. So it's
Yep.
like, it's a wash.
Yep. Yep. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, well, all these whole food supplements, I don't want to take all this stuff. Well, a couple of things. Would you rather take pharmaceutics? I'll just leave that alone.
Yeah,
You want to
with
take
the list of side effects, and nobody ever reads that folded up pamphlet that comes with that prescription. Or when the pharmacist comes
Yeah.
to the windows, like, "Do you have any questions?" You're like, "No." Can I
Nah,
take? Do
I
I?
got this.
Yeah. Can I drink alcohol on it? Do I need to take it with food? Those are like the two questions that people ask.
Even though can have suicidal thoughts,
Yeah.
go out in the middle of the street and bark like a dog. I
Yeah.
mean, all these things can happen, but I wouldn't pay no attention to
Yeah.
those. doctor said it was good, so it's
They
gotta be
said it.
good.
It's like, you get some neuropathy,
Mhm.
you get upset stomach, you have
Yep, yep.
violent thoughts, you have dark thoughts. Like,
And you look at all of the
excuse me.
things, a lot of those things, the interruption with the gut, diarrhea, nausea.
Mhm.
Well, that right there should tell you
Something ain't right.
something ain't
And it
right.
started, and we are specifically, this whole podcast was designed about a lot of things, but majority of it was based on digestive nutrition.
Yep.
And that is the most important thing. So if any of the medications, and we have to take them when we have to take them, right?
Mhm.
If they start disrupting the actual digestive process, you are screwed. That is a
Yeah.
tell. That's a poker face you're telling on yourself.
Yep.
Like this is doing something it shouldn't be.
Yep.
Again, we're gonna have to take some medication, especially antibiotics. They
Yep.
can kind of waver and upset stomach and all that stuff. There are gonna be times where you're gonna have to take it and just deal with it,
Yep.
and then do the what we're saying on the
Mhm.
back end to repair all the damages that the pharmaceuticals did,
Yeah.
or the stress did, or the depression did. Like
Yep.
all of these things have qualities or attributes or whatever side effects, but we want to put yourself in a position where you're constantly knowing what to do in case of
Yeah.
Rich's case and all those people at the other company that got laid off, or you that's going through a divorce, or you that's going through some major change in life. These are the times where you need to lean back, and it's going to be so easy to say F it, I'm gonna
Mhm.
eat these Johnny Pop fudgesicles in my
Comfort
bed,
food.
and I'm gonna eat whatever it is. We all have our go-to comfort foods, but you are gonna have to fight past that. And if you're gonna decide to do those things, right, you got to figure out how to fix it. And if not,
Mhm.
you're just on the slow train to hell, on the back of the bus.
You know, none of us are perfect.
Nor do we want to be.
So, there are times where I like some chocolate cake
Or
or,
carrot cake. Yeah, gotta
know,
think for carrot cake.
tap out. And I just want to have some. And I don't do it every day, every week, anything like that. Once in a blue moon, I'll get some. And I know it's no good for me. But what I'll do, I'll take additional digestive enzymes.
Hmm.
Like, I'm gonna help this body out. I'm
Yeah.
still gonna get the taste. It's gonna taste delicious and all this good kind of stuff. When it comes to digesting it, I'm gonna take twice the dosage with this meal
Hmm.
and let it take care all those enzymes, take care of all the bad stuff
Hmm.
that I'm trying to put in my body. So, if you're gonna do things and we all slip or all just want to do it once in a while, that's okay. You're human. But you gotta know how to compensate for that too, you know? So back to shit. Well, I don't want to take a lot of pills and supplements and blah 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 blah. Well, you're gonna have to just get over
Let it go.
it.
Come over to the good side.
That's right. Because the food is not what it used to be. And I don't care if it's got organic on it. It's not what it used to be. It's better than
Mhm.
some of the other stuff you can get out there, but you still are going to need some help. So just get past the fact that
Yeah.
you need to take some digestive enzymes. Then here's one of the big reasons why. A lot of whole food digestive enzymes, especially the ones that are have been pre-digested. Pre-digested, what does that mean? Well, that means they take the enzymes out of the plants or fruit, whatever. They take them out and they dry them. There's a pretty elaborate process they go through where they gently dry these things and dry them into a powder. So, and throughout this process, they they term it as digestion. So you're pre-digesting, in a sense, the enzymes so that when you take them, okay, they can withstand your stomach acid, which is a big dot deal. And that whole path they got to go through until they can get into the cells. Now, pre-digested whole foods and enzymes have an absorption rate of over 300%.
Mm, yeah.
300%. So they're getting into the cell. And that's why it's so important that you don't use chemically based supplementation because it's not going to have 300%.
Mm-mm.
It's going to be way low because your body's like, what the hell I do with this? know?
It's foreign. Doesn't recognize it, and then it's gotta figure out how to process and like, "Oh," once it figures it out, it's
Yeah,
like, "Oh, go over here.
yeah,
Let's go over here. Now we know what you let me just figure out this other stuff."
right, right. Supplementation is key. There's certain things you can do. She mentioned antibiotics. Well, there are whole food supplements that act as antibiotics, number one. But say you got something that is just crazy bad and you need to take it. Get some probiotics in you, save your gut because it's killing everything.
Yeah.
So you need to restore that gut because where does healing come from? Come from the gut. It comes from the
Mhm.
gut. So you've got to get that flora built
Yeah.
back up in there, the good bacteria.
So antibiotics really the way I try to explain it to my people are it's like chemo.
Ah,
Goes out there and it's da 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 da, and it wipes out everything, good, bad, or indifferent. You up in the club, we shutting it down. That's what it does. So then once that's over with and you ran through that cycle, the complete cycle, don't be cheating. If it says take it for 7 days, take it for 7 days.
right,
You
right,
should
right.
not have antibiotics left over. Anyways, but when you're done with that, now you have to rebuild that it's if you look at it as a garden, we have to go in and we have to refertilize. We have to plant. We have to make sure it's we're
Hmm.
giving it the nutrients to flourish and produce that gut flora at the level that it should be. Because again, those antibiotics, it comes out and it wipes out the
Yeah,
whole garden,
yeah,
starts over.
yeah. Well, like a mass shooter, don't care.
Yeah.
Just brrr,
Yeah. You out of here.
everybody. Yep, yep. So, um, very, very important to have have the knowledge of the things that can help counteract things. And we're not just, we've researched a lot of things. We've experimented on ourselves. When I had valley fever and pneumonia at the same time, that ain't no joke. That's not for the faint at heart. That
Mm-mm.
stuff will take you out. So valley fever is mainly in the Southwest, is where you find it. It's a fungus that's down in the dirt. And for some reason, I just got to get on my pet peeve for
Here we
it
go,
a
y'all.
second. For some reason, out here in the desert, where it's blistering hot in the summer and then beautiful the rest of the year, people plant two types of grass. One grass to withstand the heat. Okay.
Yep.
It's made to do that. It can take 110, 115 degrees. It probably grows better. Okay. And some of the winter grass, we call it, can't take that. So it'll turn brown. So a lot of people scalp their lawns. Scalp. Yeah.
Yeah.
What it sounds like. They go out there and they scalp that lawn, take all the grass out and down to the dirt, and there's dust clouds everywhere. Guess what's in the dirt? Valley fever. So you're unleashing this monster into the air just because you want nice grass. Now, when I had grass, I said, the hell with it. That thing will turn green
It'll be back. The
eventually.
color come back. Just wait.
And just get over it. But I'm not unleashing all that crap, all them spores
Mhm.
and whatnot that get in you and just cause a huge
But not only
disruption.
that, that's like a season on the West Coast, not just
Hmm.
Arizona, but the West Coast. That's what we do.
Yep.
But there's also the haboobs.
Hmm.
That massive. I know you guys seen it on the Mission Impossible movies, or you'll see the clouds now that I guess we can see everything in the world. You'll see those mass walls of dirt that are rolling in.
Hmm.
Guess what's up in there too?
Yep, yep. Valley fever, and it attacks a lot of places, but the lungs are one of its favorite places. So just imagine having valley fever, a fungus in your lungs, and having pneumonia in your lungs. I was jacked up. I'm gonna tell you, I was jacked up. So they give me this big old horse tablets to take, a fungicide. I'm like, a fungicide? That don't even sound
Yeah.
right.
Sound like it should be an internal thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see a pond that's all scummed up and you want to put a fungicide. Well, I ain't no damn pond. So I'm like, I ain't taking this crap. So I took two different herbs, did some research, took two different herbs. I took Tulsi, holy basil. I took that along with dashamula.
Mm,
Dashamula is a bunch of roots and whatnot, Ayurvedic herbs. Took both of those things, went back to the doctor after 30 days, the pulmonologist. He goes, it's amazing. How'd you recover so fast? So I told him what I did. And he goes, you probably just lucky. You had a strong
mm,
immune system. Like, yeah, right, buddy.
yeah.
So anyway, but just to point out that there are herbs and whole food supplements, and a lot of these whole food supplements do have these herbs in them
Yeah.
that can remedy certain ailments that you have, stressors that come on you. So it's important really to understand that you don't have to always run and get a prescription at first, but realize, kind of think what's going on. Something's hit my body. My body needs to heal. The way I heal is with food. I have to have good food. I got to be able to absorb the food and I get better. Start thinking about that first. So I got to make an appointment at the doctor.
Mhm,
And you go there and yeah, we won't go down that
mhm.
road. But think of it in terms of, what can I do for me? What's the best thing I can do for me right now? And like Shelley said, sometimes you have to get prescriptions, and prescriptions are wonderful for the thing they are targeting.
Mhm.
They just happen to have collateral damage that happens, okay? But in some cases, you need it. If you got a infection, don't be fooling around with no herbs, okay? We can use the herbs later to put you back together, but you need to get that done. That's more of a life-threatening thing, and Western medicine is phenomenal at saving lives. That's probably the best thing it does.
Yeah,
We got the
absolutely.
best surgeries and, you know, in those circumstances where you really.
But at the end of the day, it all boils down to you.
Yep,
You wanting to, as you're transitioning through this thing that we call life, you got to figure it out. You're going to take a knee. You're going to have to take a knee and be sad and cry and kick and scream.
yep, yep,
And then you got to get your ass up
yep,
and figure
yep,
it out. Like
yep,
it's this, the work isn't going to do itself.
yep.
But you also have to be, we were talking about this earlier, is just being open to doing something differently, opening to receive the messages or
Mhm,
the testimonies or the education from somebody else that's their strong suit. I
mhm,
think oftentimes when we're going through something, we get very closed mind, and while we're going through the always me and the
mhm,
pity party, I think we we close ourselves off to even receive what
mhm,
somebody else is saying or what we're doing. So you're by you being here, you're open to it. You found your tribe, and
right.
we appreciate you for that. But really take it in, because a lot of what we're talking about has to do with not only having an open curious mind, but it's also about reprogramming that mind.
Mhm,
Okay, so we can nerd out and we can talk about quantum physics and neuroplasticity and all
mhm.
this fun
Good
stuff. I
stuff,
mean, it
right?
is like, yo, Rich is a complete nerd, but guess I'm the best friend, so I be nerding out too. I just mine comes a little across a little bit more south side, but all of those things, that's what we're talking about. Okay. So, you're going to have to wake up, and that whole, I'm going to wait till Monday. I'm going to wait till the first of the month. I'm going to wait.
Mhm,
I'm going to wait for the doctor. I'm going to wait to stop it. Stop it. Stop arguing your limitations. Get off your butt and do something. Your family's not going to like it. You probably ain't going to like it. But at some
mhm.
point, you have to do something different. Okay. We
Right.
talked about, um, standards and boundaries, and like, are you negotiating your boundaries with yourself, or are you just saying, hey, this is what I want to do and this is how I'm going to do it? No, it's not going to be perfect. Yes, you're probably going to have to restart a couple times, but you can do it. You just have to keep pushing and figuring out what it is that you want. For all
Mhm,
the folks that have been laid off or again going through divorce or lost a child, This is your restart era. This is
Mhm.
this is your glow up. So you got to figure out, first of all, plan backwards,
Yep.
identify what it is that you want. What's the end goal? And then we can work backwards and figure out how we're going to do that. But no
Yep.
matter how big it is, if it's a new job, a new career, a new relationship, more money, whatever,
Mhm.
it's going to start with the mindset and nutrition.
Yep. Yep. That's it.
We're going to just keep going back no matter what you throw at us. We're like, yep, bring it back. Let's say it louder for the people in the back. It's going to be because you're going to have to digest those emotions. You're going to have to digest the process. You're going to have to
Mhm.
digest all of that. Like this body of ours that's so amazing, it just heals itself. Well,
Yep.
you got to feed it the right things.
That's
And
it.
you have to give it a window of opportunity to process what's going through.
Yep. Well said. Well said.
Is it?
And with that, we want to thank you
Yeah.
for tuning in. Thank you for the likes. Continue to follow us. We are still getting a lot of can you help me's,
Mhm.
and that's wonderful because that's one of the reasons we're here is to help you, you know, through all these different challenges you may have. So,
I think we need to task you guys. We haven't given them a task in a
ooh,
while. We were
ooh,
giving you guys mantras to do. We were giving you little assignments, and we haven't given you an assignment in a while.
hmm,
Mm. I know that was on the spot.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
well, we'll have one next week for
Yeah.
you though.
I think this week we'll just say journal.
Yeah, journal's a good one.
Yeah, just take 5 minutes
Yep.
and just journal 5 minutes every day until next week, and then we'll have something mo better for you.
Mo better.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Take care.
All right. Toodles.
Take care.